Daddy, are you recording again?
Yep, it's time for Relatable Dads Unscripted.
Oh, okay. I hope they enjoyed this episode.
Welcome back to Relatable Dads Unscripted. Today I'm joined by special guest Lloyd from the Man Cave, who's also a therapist. It's a slightly different episode to what we're used to. I've gone through 4 different scenarios with Lloyd and trying to get a therapist point of view plus a dad's point of view from my perspective on how we would deal with certain situations. So today's episode, we talk about sex within relationships, relationships after kids, porn within relationships, and how to deal with teenagers who don't listen to anyone. Please give it a look, give it a share, and also please put your thoughts in the comments. It will really help the channel grow, and we really do appreciate your feedback as well. So thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome back to Relatable.
This guy.
Welcome back. I'm gonna keep that in there.
I'm just doing my thing. You introduced us
in the middle of your introduction. You just moving around and everything. Welcome back to Relatable Dads Unscripted. We're figuring out fatherhood, one honest conversation at a time. Today, my main man Lloyd.
Oh God.
Oh, this guy.
You really struggle, don't you?
Yeah. It's only when you're here. Everyone else, I'm always like, my introduction.
Do I make you nervous? So it is.
No, he's not making me nervous.
You know.
But you can see I'm just about to do the introduction. You start moving around.
Well, I've been moving.
So today's going to be a bit of a different one. I've got Lloyd over here. He is a trained therapist.
Training therapist. But yeah.
You therapize people.
I therapize people.
Yeah.
I therapize people.
Is that even a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And of recent times, I've had a few messages through. I've also had, I've been scouring Facebook groups, finding different scenarios from a dad's perspective. So I just wanted to see what
I would say.
Yeah. Kicking it straight off the bat, I found this one, which I think I sent to you personally. It was like, because we've had conversations alike. Why the subject of it is, straight off the bat, why do men typically attach their self-worth and happiness with sex? They get angry or depressed if their partner doesn't give out to them. They spiral or seek another person to fill that void. But why? Why do guys assume that their woman says no, that she no longer wants him, values him, loves him, is attracted to him? Why the intense spiraling? It's like they overlook all the other ways that she connects with him, all the other ways she shows up for him. No one on this planet can meet all of your needs or wants. You likely aren't meeting all of her needs either. But this need seems to be the most important one to guys. Why is this need so intense and causes so much chaos within you if you don't get it? So yeah, come on, therapist and Lloyd, talk to me.
On the spot. So,
because I know that you've had similar, not from you, but from.
Well, I have had similar feelings.
Yeah.
When I was in a relationship and intimacy started to taper off, it did affect the way I've viewed myself, the way I viewed the relationship. I know people who go through that. I often hear about it. I see it. And I don't know if I could answer this from like a psychologically objective position. I could answer it subjectively and I could speculate. That's what I can do.
Okay.
And I think, speaking for myself, when I was in a relationship, I think it's one of those needs that only your partner can fulfill.
Right.
Especially when you're in a monogamous context, you're like, the only person I can go to for this need is my partner. And when they don't give it to you, because the thing is, there's so much weight put on sex and its meaning. We use it to show affection, to show that we care. There's like an exclusivity around it when you're in a monogamous relationship. It's like, okay, now I'm only sharing these parts of me with you. I only want to see these parts like with you. It's us, right? And I think for men, that is probably generally not every man, but I think most men do just really value sex and how it makes them feel. Not just, oh yeah, I feel good as a man. It's, I feel valued as a man. I feel appreciated. I feel loved. I feel desired, which is all these feelings that other people get through different means. But yeah, generally, I mean, that was from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a woman that wrote it.
It's a woman that wrote it. Can you see the metrics? Can you see how many people liked that, loved it?
101 comments, 33 reactions to it. But this was I screenshotted it like 13 hours after.
So like within the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because that is anyone watching this has probably had a similar conversation with their partner if it's long term. If you're a woman you've probably heard your man talk about or complain about the amount of sex. Now, if he's complaining about it, having it too much, then you're in a different situation to the one this is pertaining to. But chances are you're probably hearing.
I don't think I've ever heard any man say,
We're having too sex.
We're having too much sex.
We're having too much sex. I think over a long period of time, it's definitely less likely. I believe. Now again, not an objective metric, just a belief or like a speculation. But I think men. I was having this conversation with someone else, and without making it sound so trivial, because another thing is I feel like people proper don't like talking about sex. It becomes like a dirty thing. Like if you talk about sex, like if I was to be like, okay, I want to go see my friend and just hug them. That's all I want to do. I want to show up, hug them, dip. Everybody be like, oh, that's cute, that's wonderful. But I was like, oh, I want to show up to my friend, just have a deep conversation and dip. Like, yeah, see, that's nice, man. But I was like, I want to go see someone and just have sex all day, be intimate, be close, and dip. Unless that's your partner, it's something to be frowned upon or to be upset by or insulted by. Women, and I fully understand this, I'm not taking this away. A lot of women despise being valued solely for sex. You only see me as a sexual object. You only see me as someone who'd have sex with, blah, 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 blah. No one's ever complained about that as being, oh, you only see me as someone you can have insightful conversations with. Oh, you only see me as someone who can give you good advice when you need good advice. But there is this level of like lack of quality being associated with sex. Like I'm being dismissed or objectified. I think a lot of men, again, without making it sound,
but I think there's a lot of guilt attached to it when a man says we don't have enough sex.
Because it feels like you're obliging your partner. Like your partner has to, because it's not a case of I just want sex. Like I don't want you to act like a human fleshlight. I want to be intimate with you. That requires you wanting to be intimate with me in a similar way. And it's tricky because sometimes you don't feel that way, man. Like especially when you've done life together for a bit. It's one of those things that tends to fall by the wayside, but there is a level of duty there for both parties. It's just that I think men are more. No man's going to be upset about, oh, I've got to fulfill my sexual duties. I also understand that from what I've seen is that women have a more difficult time getting theirs. So maybe it's a case of for them, sex doesn't feel the same way as it does for a man. A man is almost guaranteed to have his one. Do you know what I mean? Very easily pleased. I'm not gonna lie. We don't in out, bro. That's the only movement we need. We don't need different rhythms. We don't need different pressures. You know what I mean? So I can understand why it might feel differently for the genders, but I think men. Someone else said this, and I think it's definitely a gross oversimplification. Is I think a lot of what men do is for sex, but it's not for sex for sex sake. It's for what sex means to us, valued, like appreciated, desired. Like I think that's. Any man who feels like he's got an abundance of like sexual attraction to the other sex is quite content. If he feels like, oh, I could get it from anywhere, he's probably more likely to be particular about who's getting it from. Whereas if he feels scarce, if he feels like I can't get it, I'm going to take it from whoever. You know what I mean? Whoever's offering it, I'm going to take it. A woman is more likely to be like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and get it from the right source, unless there's other challenges there. But I couldn't say objectively why men feel that way. I can only say for myself that it is, for me, what it used to be a way of feeling desired and validated and appreciated by my partner, especially when.
What about the point of her saying that
it diminishes everything else?
Yeah, but like they attach their self-worth and happiness.
Well,
literally but a large proportion of their self-worth and happiness comes from
sex.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's like I said, like men tend to do everything they do. Ultimately, it comes back to sex.
Yo, big man, I really need 4 things from you. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really will help the channel grow, and I need Ian Wright on this channel. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and now back to the episode. Thanks very much.
How much money you earn is going to improve your dating prospects. Improving your dating prospects improves the likelihood and the level of intimate interactions you can have. Status. Oh, I want to be this guy. I want to be that guy. I want this hoodie. I want this trainer, this car. Why? Because you want to attract lots of people. Why? Because lots of people means lots of potential partners. Okay. Even being in a monogamous relationship in a household, it's like, I'm going to do X, Y, Z to keep my partner happy, my family happy. Why? Because then people can start to relax and feel safe. Why? Because then intimacy can happen. And the intimacy that men usually are probably most proficient in is probably sex. They're not by default the most emotionally literate people, so they might not be as receptive. That one. They might not be as receptive to intimacy in other forms like conversation, feeling held in that context, or cuddles, kisses on the sofa. I can only speak for myself. Cuddles and kisses on the sofa is going to probably become sex. That's where my body goes. If you're showing me physical intimacy, my body will respond with, I want more physical intimacy. That's just how, like, that's how it is. Like, I'm not saying that I want to smash everyone. I'm saying sorry, Mike man. I'm just saying that that's how my body responds. As a man, I feel like a lot of men do get, and some men do deserve to be criticized for their approach when it comes to sex, because I think some people are very entitled. Some people are very uncouth and disrespectful, invalidating for their partners. But at the same time, I think there is a level of nature in it. Could be testosterone, it could be other biological factors, but yeah, I think for them, sex symbolizes value because it's attached to every like metric of value. Like, okay, being successful. What does being successful mean? If you've got all the money in the world, and it probably happens, if you've got all the money in the world and like no bitches, no women, no partners, people would cuss you out for that. People would be like, how successful are you really? And the fact that could nullify all of your other strengths
and
achievements is crazy, because it can. There are people out there who could be like, have all the money in the world, and if they've got no partner, and this is another thing, people say, behind every successful man is a successful woman. Again, a lot of sucking, right? And that's important, because it's not what is sex really. Sex isn't just the naan, it's the mouth as well. The point is that it's almost like a woman is necessary to validate a man's worth. Like, behind every successful man is a successful woman, or a strong woman, or a great woman. But you're not a successful man unless there's a woman involved. Yeah. So I feel like almost everything in culture, narratively, points to a man's worth has to be attached to the other gender and relations too. So whether it's conditional, whether it's nature, nurture, I couldn't answer for sure, but there's definitely a lot of narratives that perpetuate that too.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Good answer.
Thank you. I tried.
Following on from that,
Okay,
another question.
God dang.
Is porn
Great. Go on.
Do you actually think it is though?
Porn is just a medium.
But there's a lot of studies or
mash up the brain. And,
it's not good. It's not good for you in terms of your.
Well, again, objectively, I can't answer. So if the studies are saying it's bad, then what the fuck is my opinion? You know what I mean? But again, I think it's all moderation. I think it's important to understand the ethics of the porn that you're watching. Because the thing is, let's say you and your partner make porn, not porn, adult content for just each other, and you enjoy it together. That could be something that, and I know that's not what we're talking about. I'm creating different perspectives from us to consider things from. Because when we're talking about porn, we're talking about big titties and crazy narratives. Someone got stuck in the cupboard and now you're helping them out by slipping a fist in them or whatever, right? That's what porn we're talking about. Don't make that with your partner. Do what you want. Who am I? The point is, if we're talking about sexually explicit acts on camera and the effect it can have on someone, I think it's just all about context. And if we're talking about porn,
that's content in itself, but I'm talking about like putting yourself in your room and
just sitting there for a few hours
and doing what you want to do.
Yeah, probably incredibly harmful in the sense that, I mean, I think this is the correct way to put it, like dopaminergic. Dopamine seeking behaviors in excess are a problem. Eating too much sugar. Social media. Like looking for validation on dating apps just because. So
you just think in excess is a problem?
In excess is always going to be a problem.
Not an isolated thing.
Yeah, I think, because the thing is, all these things were a lot less accessible. I think I watched a video on a YouTube channel called Big Think. It's a fucking fantastic channel if you've ever seen it. You get lots of different experts making really wonderfully articulate and concise points around certain phenomena. And one of them was talking about supernatural stimuli, which I think the way they put it, and I could be incorrect, the way they put it was like, it's almost like brain sugar. It's like a kind of stimulus you get, but heightened. It's like trimmed all the fat, all of the hard work to get the content, and also it's giving you super amounts of the content. So it's like social media is like a false equivalency to life and popularity. It's like you can have this little pocket where you're super accessible, but you're also a different version of yourself. And it's weird. Showing up and being successful in that space makes you feel less successful in real life because it's not
a reality.
Yeah, it's not the reality, right? So, I've got 3,000 likes, and that might not be enough. But listen, if I walk down the street and 3,000 people make it openly known that they like me, I'm gassed. 6 people do that, I'm like, wow, what a good day, man. Oh my! I'll go to the gym. There's like 100 people in the gym. If 4 people are like, "You're doing all right today, man," I'll be like, you know what? I've won. Oosh. But online, those metrics are trivial. They're nothing. If you've made a video and 40 people watch it, and it's a video chatting shit about nothing, you're gonna be, 40 people, bro. If I sat in a room with 40 people and they listen to me chat rubbish, I'd feel held. I'd feel seen. I'd feel appreciated. And I think porn is like the same with sex, and like it just throws things on a different level. And I think it does fuck up our expectations and because I guess especially in the UK where sex education is not great. Like we don't get a great education around sex and anatomy like other countries do, where it's open and it's not stigmatized. Because I feel like sex is still very stigmatized here. We're very stush in the UK.
Where would you say is better?
Well, I hear Scandinavian countries are really open.
Scandinavian countries lead the way for pretty much everything.
It's because they're.
But the only problem is they have really shit winters and really shit summers. And otherwise, they would be the Dubai of the world.
But the thing is, you say they've got really shit winters, yeah, they've got really shit weather, but they're not miserable in any measure. Like not in their.
But because they live with that, they change their way of life according to that.
Well, we're only across the road from them, so our weather is terrible. I went to Poland, and they looked up at the sky. It was great. The clouds were blacker than my dad, and they were like, "This is UK weather." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we call terrible weather UK weather." I'm like, "That's mad. You got terrible weather. You're calling it UK weather." I mean, we don't have the monopoly on weather. The weather is the weather, but it's because of our attitudes. Like the UK was.
But it could be in this country. It could be hot. Everyone will moan it hot.
Yeah, but
it could be cold. Everyone will moan it's cold. It could be like no matter what.
We could be happy and we'd moan that we're happy.
This country, no matter what the weather is, someone. To be fair, I was guilty of it today when I was like
cold outside,
bloody freezing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. My hands are frozen now. But that's the thing. It's on us to change that. And as a culture, as a collective, we're not very good. Not very good at that. Like here's what's up. Scandinavian countries, from what I understand, are some of the happiest places on the planet. Canada, one of the happiest places on the planet. These are cold places. You know what I mean? And I think in Scandinavian countries...
I'd love to move to a Scandinavian country.
I think their
education system's like tenfold better than it.
But the thing that and again, I don't know this to be a fact. I just, from what I'm observing, they live so holistically. Everything counts. Okay, how are we treating people? How does it feel? How can it operate? Like 4-day work weeks, all this kind of stuff, it's being considered within the grand scheme, the bigger picture. I don't think many other countries are doing that as well. They look at one facet of life and apply rules, and they look at another and they apply rules, and they don't even sit to consider if those rules are congruent with one another. And then, hello, Jesus, what are you saying? Oh, it's all kicking off. So you've got that happening in Scandinavian countries, and they're really, I hear that they're really good with sex education, and they're really open, and they start from early. And one thing I've even experienced within dating is how open those conversations, how different those conversations feel, because they don't feel dirty or disgusting or inappropriate.
Well, when you talk to Scandinavian women.
When you talk about Scandinavian women, you're like, what do you like? And they're like, I like it when this, that, the other happens.
I was hoping you weren't going to go into detail then.
Bro, who am I, mate? I'll tell you what you need to know. Listen, sign up to my OnlyFans to get all the deets. No, I'm just kidding. You have Scandinavian women will be, not even just women, just general conversation. So I remember attending, like I was in a restaurant I was in Sweden. I was with my Swedish friend and her friends, and they were all talking about all sorts around sex and other personal details. But the way they spoke about it wasn't something to be ashamed of. And I think the UK, we're kind of taught to be ashamed of everything. don't talk about this way, don't say it's impolite, it's impolite. I'm just like, at some point you have to just permit yourself to be more open. And so coming all the way back to the point of porn, I think if we had better conversations around it, it could be marginally healthier. If we had better outlets and educations, that could be marginally healthier. But it's a massive cultural shift. If we're talking about porn being harmful, generally, I think it's never going to be black and white. But if we're swinging the pendulum on one side or the other, I think it's unhealthy. I don't think there's nearly as many benefits to that as like detriments.
Well, we've gone off on a tangent.
Yeah, sorry.
The initial question was, is porn use cheating if your partner doesn't know about it?
No. Shut up. No.
Right, calm down.
It pisses me off. It's so annoying. Listen, okay, you have to hard bake boundaries into your relationship so that the parameters are clear. And I understand some people feel differently, you're wrong. Shut up. No, I'm just kidding. Do what you want. It depends on your relationship. If you've decided early, I don't want you watching content of other people, cool. Then yes, absolutely 100% unequivocally cheating, because that's a parameter that you've set. But by default, I don't think so. That's like saying is masturbating cheating when you're not.
Well, effectively what? I don't understand. So I know
I've got needs.
I know relationships where a man may knock one out and a woman gets offended by the man knocking one out.
Be offended, man.
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
the thing is, logically, I fully understand why that's okay. I'm more interested in understanding what is it in your experience, in your feelings, that upsets you about it. You know what I mean? These individuals who feel that way, there's something there. And it's not to pathologize you and tell you that you're wrong to feel that way. Objectively, a lot of people might think it's okay. For you, it might not be okay. And it's fully fine to have that boundary in place. Fully fine. But to expect it as a default is unreasonable. Expecting anything as a default is unreasonable. You need to be having honest conversations often with each other. If you feel a type of way, like, one thing I always say to people, and it pisses them off, is like, people don't stop being attracted to other people, you know? Like, your partner, your man likes other women. Your women like other men. And you know what's more impressive about that is they choose you every day, all the time. They'll look over there and be like, oh my days, she is fine. But I'm so gassed with mine. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a poet, yeah?
Hey, man's got bars. But you have to recognize this is your biology. This is why porn can be a problem, because it does create unreasonable expectations and it might create discontent in the physical form. But relationships are more than just a physical form. It's more than just how you look. I'm not with you just because how you look. You're not a cardboard cutout in my room. You're a person who has agency. You're going to do what you're going to do. And yeah, attraction is more than skin deep. You've got to create allowances that actually there are going to be elements of people that your partner's going to like. They might not fancy them, but they might. Okay, are you going to be really upset if they laugh at other people's jokes? Which again, some of you do. Explore that. Like, really understand why that might be a problem for you. And watching porn is not cheating because it's completely devoid of any real measure of connection. It's a tool to facilitate a nut.
Fair.
Some people might not use porn. They might listen to the tumble dryer. I don't know. People get off on different things. They might look at your pictures. How would people feel about that? You know what I mean? What? Okay, they're looking at a picture of you on social media or whatever, and they're busting nuts to it. Not you. I mean, just like them.
I was gonna say, like, well, they're only human, innit? So
yeah, it makes sense. That's why they're all tuned in, boy. But
well, I don't know, because it's a dad channel. I'm not.
But that might be their kink, you know.
No,
that might be their kink. This look, seeing a healthy black man chucking a baby in the sky.
To be fair though, they're both white.
Nah, you're colorblind.
He looks like Tintin.
He is black.
No, color-wise. Feature-wise.
How are we measuring?
Because
you know
that's a white haircut.
So, yeah, no, you're right. They're also fictional characters. I don't think any of them are real.
You're the one that started this bullshit.
Yeah, I called them black, bro. I was clearly making a joke. But yeah, it's. I personally don't think it's cheating, but I understand within the certain relationship parameters that you might consider it cheating, and I think that's okay. I'm so sorry. My pacemaker's gone off. I got me excited. But it's unreasonable to have a problem without the communication, the prior communication. But at the same time, you're only human. It happens. But work on it.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right. I need guidance, please. My almost 15-year-old daughter refuses to allow me to be a parent. She insists that if she wants to wear the smallest bikinis, I can't stop her. Though I'm not buying them, she throws comments like, my body, my choice. It isn't your decision. I tell her when she is 18, she can wear what she wants. She tells me she doesn't plan on still being alive at 18. This is her response to every attempt to deny her anything. She's quick to tell us we legally have to house her and feed, clothe her, but anything to do with her is not our legal responsibility. She has a boyfriend, also 15, who is buying these things for her. I just don't know how to respond to this. My husband and I are at a total loss. There's a lot to unpack there. The first thing to unpack is the fact that she doesn't think she's going to be alive in 3 years' time.
Well, see, this would be my only concern. Like, again, my attitude to bodily autonomy is very different. I agree with her. Do what you want. But at the same time, she's not my daughter. So I can't speak from the perspective of that parent.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who has to, that's realistically his situation. It's easy for me to say something and then dip and do what I need to do. So for him, I can understand how challenging it must be as a male parent.
I think that's a female parent.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay. Female parent even. Just having an adolescent daughter going through those changes, right? But it sounds like there's a bigger concern, which is this suicidality that she might be experiencing. And it might be for clout. It might just be attention-seeking behavior. But then that also falls in line with this level of rebellion, the level of like attention-seeking with the small bikinis and what other stuff she's doing. But if you've already tried disciplinary action and that's not working, then you've got to change your tactic. I know people will cuss out soft parenting and stuff, but trying to be a collaborator, if you care for this person, then try and come at it empathetically, try and understand where their mind's at. It's the only real thing I could advise without more context is just try and understand, which again, that's such a simple statement. Try and understand. There's some things you're never going to understand. Like if I was to sit here and be like, okay, I wonder why Jeffrey Dahmer did what he did. There's never going to be a part of me that's like, oh, I get it. I would as well. There's never going to be a part of me that does that. So there's like a nuance in it. You don't actually have to agree with it, but it's being able to hold it and be like, okay, I can see why she thinks this is a suitable behavior. If her objective is to get attention, it's working. Her plan has worked. Like you can't tell her not to do it because she's succeeding in her goal. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's trying to identify what is the purpose of that goal. What does that goal fulfill that you think is missing? How can we fulfill it in a more healthy way? What is this nonsense about suicidality? Where does that come from? If it's true, if it's honest, then I would always encourage people to treat it seriously. Don't ever tell someone, oh, you're not going to do it, you're not serious. That's muggy behavior because all it takes is them to do it.
Prove a point.
Yeah, if they do it, you're going to look like a dickhead and you're going to feel like a dickhead. So how about don't do it? Just actually collaborate, take them seriously. It's not about your feelings right now. If they're going through that, let's hold space for them. But at the same time, if it's challenging for you, you also have to make room for you to process and like come to terms with certain things. So it might be worth even collaborating to an extent. What is it you need? How can I help you? What would you rather? What kind of parent do you want me to be? How have I failed you as a parent? Because it's not to say that you're going to change. It's just to say, oh, I'm getting insight. I'm understanding what her expectations are, why they are. And then from that point, it's coming up with interventions that maybe aren't you. Like, oh, what can I do? How can I check? It's like, okay, what can I facilitate? Is there a type of counseling that you want? Is there a type of activity that you feel like would help you engage more with this version of yourself, this part of yourself? But yeah, it is a deep question. It is a heavy question because there's lots of feelings involved, parents and the child. But yeah, asking for help and offering help is like the oversimple answer, I guess.
Offering help to the daughter or the parent?
As the parent, offering help to your daughter.
Okay.
Because she might not think she needs help.
Well, she clearly does. If she's talking about not being
here at 18, yeah.
That was like my biggest
concern.
When I read that, I was like, right, she's thinking that she's not going to be here in 3 years' time.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe she knows something that she hasn't disclosed to her parents, which at 15, I think you have to go through your parents. So I can't see how some medical mystery might have eluded them. If she's got an illness, the parents would know, I'm assuming. But again, these are real situations, so it could be a lot more complicated than that. But yeah. But that's the thing, you say she does need help, she needs support for sure, but she might not think about it like that. Because there's a lot of men out there who need support but don't think they do. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm literally going to die. Do you need help? No, I'm okay. What are you talking about, geez? So it's a case of rather than being there to help her, just be there for her. Like, make it feel safe. She will ask for help if that's what she thinks she needs, or she'll express a confusion or a feeling of loss. Not loss as in she's lost something, but she feels lost.
So from a parent's perspective, how would you handle the whole trying to get the smallest bikinis that she can possibly find to wear and them things there?
Well, I would just try and have an honest conversation or get someone to have, because she's probably not going to want to talk to her parents about that. She probably already knows that it's inappropriate. That could be the point. I want to piss my parents off. I want to fuck them off. And it's not always like that, but it could be maybe she only gets attention when she's in trouble.
Fair.
And now that she's a little bit older and got a boyfriend, the only person she gets attention of is her boyfriend. And her boyfriend gives her attention when she's wearing these bikinis. But so does her parents. But it's not
the positive attention.
Yeah, but it's the attention she's used to. So maybe she's like, oh, I'm winning. I've got all the attention I want. Maybe it's time to show her an alternative. I don't know. There's so many different routes you could take that. But facilitating an honest conversation between the daughter and someone she could trust, someone she could feel safe with, would be my first step. The small bikinis are uncomfortable. They're not dangerous.
Would you navigate talking to one of her friends about it?
I wouldn't want to go behind her back.
Okay, cool. No, the only reason I say that is because,
I wouldn't want to go behind her back. I would, me personally, again, I can't speak from there, but I would just try, and it might not work. It's not to say it's the best approach, but I'd be like, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned. That thing you said about you not being here at 18 really hurts me. And I can't believe that's coming from a place of us talking about bikinis. So what have I missed? Like, if you can't talk to me, why can't you talk to me? And obviously, if you can't talk to me, you're not going to tell me. So what can I do? Like, I don't want you hurting. I don't want you upset. If you want to wear small bikinis, if you need me to back off, if that's what's going to get you to 18 and beyond, I'll back the fuck up, man. Wear what you want. Wear nothing. I'll look away. You know what I mean? What can I do to make you feel like you belong here and you want to be here? Not just here, but maybe that's where we start. I don't want you to just feel like, okay, because the world's not that bad. I also want you to be like, I love my family. I want to be a part of this unit. I really appreciate what my boyfriend's doing, but also I can choose. So it's gone from a place of belonging to then a place of empowerment. And I have to accept that maybe as a parent, I'm not going to be all of that, but I'll do what I can. So yeah, going from talking about small bikinis to suicidality, the fact that post still focuses predominantly on the small bikinis and not the suicidality is mad. And there's going to be more context. Maybe the daughter's just a dickhead and she just says out of pocket shit. But maybe she is. Maybe she's 15. I was a dickhead at 15. I used to say some dumb shit, but like that wouldn't be my approach. As a parent, I'd be more concerned about suicidality.
Fair.
Yeah, so that's how I would try and facilitate an open, honest conversation, try and facilitate some peace. And the thing is, at some point, if it's just causing your peace to be completely unobtainable, then at some point you've got to accept. I think it's hard for parents to hear, I've got to accept my daughter saying dumb shit and wearing small bikinis. That's life. You have no control. There's zero control. You can either spend all your time being upset about it righteously. Oh, I'm always going to be upset about my daughter being a dickhead, because that's what a parent does, and be proud about it, but be upset your whole life and have your other children miss out on having a present parent, have your partner miss out on having a present wife or husband. Or you could just let it go. And it might take work. It's not as easy as just letting it go. But yeah, don't stand on business and be proud about dumb shit. It does not help you. Next.
Another one. Very similar, actually. Hi, dads. I need advice on drawing firm lines with a 15-year-old. I'm the parent and I'm paying for his clothes. So there are certain standards I expect him to follow while he's under my roof. He wants different options. I want to be fair, but I need him to respect clear rules. If you've handled this with a teen, I'd appreciate your guidance. If anyone wouldn't mind messaging me, thank you.
Reword that for me, please. Tell me what's going on. How do you understand that?
So dad asking for advice on he's currently buying clothes for his child.
Yeah.
And the child, by all accounts, it sounds like isn't following the rules of the house.
Okay. I don't know how severe, like the kid's being a little prick.
Yeah, basically.
Like, he wants Nike. And
I don't think it's down to the...
I want him to have Reebok. Like,
I don't even think it's down to the... All right.
He's just being a penis in the house.
I think so.
As a parent, your
I need
responsibility
advice on drawing firm lines for 15-year-old. I'm the parent and I'm paying for his clothes.
Yeah, you're supposed to. You're his parent.
So there are certain expectations I expect him to follow while he's under my roof. He wants different options. I don't know what different options they are. I want to be fair, but I need him to respect clear rules. If you've handled this with a teen, I'd appreciate your guidance. Anyone mind this?
Okay, I understand. Having boundaries with your kid, trying to discipline your kid. Not discipline in the sense I'm going to backhand you around the back of the head if you're a prick, but it's like I want to treat you, I want to show you responsibility. I want to teach you responsibility. Not as it's not a punishment to teach a child that.
But it's just funny how you said, I'm paying for his clothes.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. Yeah. You're supposed to. Pay for your kids' clothes. The fuck? What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Of course you pay for your kids' clothes. They'll be naked otherwise. They can't work. You can't work. What are you chatting about, sir? But you want him to follow clear. He wants options. Yeah, buy him more than one outfit. Buy him 2 tops, 3 tops. Make them different colours. Oh, what are you talking? This is why I'm struggling with this question. Okay, how do we deal with this? Shut up. No, I'm just kidding. But
you can't keep telling everyone to shut up.
I love telling everyone to shut up. I feel like it's best. And it's crazy because you're the only one here and you're being quiet. So I don't know who I'm telling
to
shut up.
You're a therapist, so...
Yeah, but I'm not a therapist now. I'm Lloyd. I'm a therapist.
And you're helping people.
You're PT. Wow. What am I supposed to do? Squats right now? You want me to stretch whilst we're doing a pod?
You're on a podcast as a therapist talking to...
No, I'm on a podcast as Lloyd giving my perspective.
From a therapist.
Therapeutic perspective.
Okay.
Okay, listen, I'm not going to concede, but I get what you're saying. Listen. That's better than shut up, innit? Listen. I would help him understand his responsibilities as a parent, which are to provide a safe space for their child to grow and facilitate growth in other areas. So buying a child clothes so they can leave the house, go to school without getting arrested or picked up in a van by some strange man is my responsibility as a parent. He's correct in wanting his child to be responsible and respectable. That's okay. I think every parent wants that from their children. They want their children to be able to adhere to rules, just so they can coexist with other people. Fine. Trying to equate the two is a very difficult place to be because your expectations of your child are starting to look like expectations of an employee in the workplace. It's like you don't manage your household like a manager. You do it like a leader, like a parent. You've got you're not infallible in this context. Just because your children are children doesn't mean you're already right and correct. So for him, buying the kids clothes is a non-factor. Take that out of the post.
That's really irked you, isn't it?
It's unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. Either I speak to the dad and as a therapist, like I'm not real, as a therapist, as his therapist, I would ask him why that's so important. I'd explore his feelings around that. But as a person, another parent on the post, giving him advice, I'd be like, buying clothes is a non-factor. Change that post. Okay, I've got a kid who's being disobedient. I want him to respect my rules a bit more. How do we set boundaries? Cool. That's more reasonable.
So you think he needs therapy in terms of why that's such a massive factor for him?
No, he doesn't need therapy. What I'm saying is
not therapy, but
if I was his therapist, that's what I would explore.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't even know if it's a trigger for him. It might just be he's in a bit of a community where other people are making it a point. So he's making it a point. It's like, I've been told that this is supposed to be how it's done. Previous advice to him could have been, yeah, buy your kids clothes, and then when they act up, just change what you buy them.
Don't buy them clothes anymore.
Yeah, like stop. Yeah, when your kid's acting like a penis, stop buying them clothes. They'll change it. That could be advice he's got. So that could be why he's mentioning it, because that's kind of the angle he's already approached it in. But he's not said, I buy my kid food.
But yeah, that's like,
Oh, my kids want options. They want more
while
than
he's under
cereal.
my roof. So you'd think, like, while he's under my roof and under my supervision and under my like house, I get that from because you're feeding him, you're clothing him,
But that's your
he caveated it straight away, paying for his clothes.
Yeah.
And then he's
like, that was okay. Now everything else makes sense. And that's the point. Like, if he was like, I've got a stepson who I've been married for 4 years and I pay for this kid's clothes and I just want him to respect me a bit more. Cool. Okay, there's a level of understanding there that makes more sense. Still, if you're going to be a parent, these are responsibilities you have. And it's almost like a level of entitlement or a level of reciprocity he expects from his kid. I do this, therefore you do this for me. It's like point scoring. You can't expect a child to reciprocate like that. They're a child. He hasn't even got the opportunity to buy his own clothes. Like I said, he can't work. He's 15. If you don't buy his clothes, he's naked. He's butt naked. He ain't doing nothing. So if you resent buying your kid clothes, then you've got to really reevaluate what being a parent means to you. Or just tell your partner. I don't. Is he still married? Is he a single parent? There's a lot of missing context. So yeah, for me, ultimately, as a person, not as a counselor, not as even another dad, you should buy your kids clothes. You should also expect your kids to be unruly to an extent. You've got to be reasonable. They're not going to follow your rules. They're going to shit on the carpet. They're going to smear it against the walls. Kids will be kids. And if you can get away with it, you can punch them up. Punch up your kid. Punch up your child.
Do not follow this advice.
Hide all the cameras, all the microphones. Don't tell anybody. Make sure the bruises can't be seen. Punch up children.
Bro, you can't say this. This
is your podcast. This is your podcast. You got me on. You knew I was going to say this. No, but life is life. Stuff like this is challenging. I can understand why he's stressed. I think more so than tackling that situation, I think it'd be more important to speak to the dad and just understand, what is it you expect from your children? What is it you'd like from your household? I have clients like this, and the advice I'm always...
I hope you're a lot more serious when you're actually...
Yeah, when you're paying me for my time, like, cool, we're one-to-one, and I'm a therapist. Cool, I'm going to get in therapist brain. But right now, I'm a human, and I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I like saying dumb shit. Sometimes therapists like saying dumb shit. But if he was my client, one of the things I would focus on is his expectations. Because I think a lot of people struggle with their expectations, especially with their children. I expect my children to do this, I expect my children to do that. So first off, they're children. Anything before 18 years old, they are... Anything even before, like after that, they're inexperienced human beings. Like, it is your responsibility as a dad to run a household as a dad. Growing up as a child, we're not thinking about running the household, period. We're thinking about running around the household. We're not running it. We're not thinking about the bills. We don't have to. That's our privilege as children. We have to deal with that when we have children. So to expect him to be like, oh, like appreciation, gratitude, just keep teaching him. He will learn. But don't expect him to be a perfect, infallible being at 15. Because that, if he is, that might be Jesus. So yeah, monopolize on that. Don't punch him up. Because you gotta...
All right, so only don't punch up your kid.
If he's Jesus, don't punch him up.
We're an atheist.
I'm an atheist.
Okay, so
what?
We're talking about a mythical creature.
Yeah, I also said punch up your children. Don't take everything I say seriously.
All right. Last one.
Well, yeah.
Hi, I didn't know where else to turn. I feel like an arsehole. Has anyone felt like having kids actually ruined their marriage? Don't get me wrong, I love my daughter and would do anything for her. But the arguments and fights have increased. There are nights that we go to bed without so much a word between us. I know it's bad to stay together for the sake of the kids, but when do you know that it's done? I still love my wife, but there are times when I think that she's done. I tried to talk to her to find out if she is okay, and she's gotten so cold with her responses. I'm scared. The only thing is I don't know how old the child is, but I feel like that would definitely play a part in it.
I think, first of all, sorry to hear that that's what's happening, because I don't think anyone anticipates that. Like, being in a loving relationship and having children, and then that being the detriment of your relationship, that's heartbreaking.
I think as well, when people have been together for so long, say like a relationship have been together for 7 years, you know it as
you and them.
Yeah, you and them.
The dynamic is changing.
The dynamic changes so much that it creates that friction.
Yeah.
It's always just been me and you. Like, I've had 100% of your love. You've had 100% my love.
And it happens.
And then this little being comes in, and
now you care about them more than me.
Unconditional thing. As soon as that baby's born, your heart, say you've only got 100% of your heart, like 90% of that goes into that baby, because you're like, this is my everything now.
But it also has to an extent. Your focus, it's not just I love the baby, it's I'm responsible for making sure this baby lives and breathes and is healthy, it grows. And that's not just, you can't just look at a baby and be like, I love it, and that be enough. You know what I mean? As a grown-ass man or woman, you can do your own thing. Like, I can focus on this thing that can't look after itself, whilst you look after yourself for a bit. But the point is, the objective is supposed to be us together. We're parents. We're both responsible for the child.
Find as well, when couples have a child, they then become I'm mum, you're dad.
Yeah, the identity changes.
We're just mum and dad.
We're not partners anymore. It takes work to stay partners as well as parents.
And like a lot of couples don't focus on making sure that you're still like your own identity. You're still your own identity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
it's a lot. It's a lot. So being yourself, but also being a partner, but also being a parent, it's a lot. And then also trying to figure out, because obviously when your baby is a baby and there's no critical discernment within them in regards to you, it's very transactional. Feed it, put it to bed, make sure it's alive, wipe its ass, whatever. But then when you have to compete, not even compete, because I think
it is a competition though. I feel like you do, as a new parent, it is a competition
or between the parents.
No, just to get that affection and intimacy from your partner when the baby's first there.
But I would disagree, because I don't think with competition, it makes it sound like there's a finite amount of love, which there kind of is, because love is expressed through like intimacy and affection, and that comes from a human's capacity, and our capacities are limited. So in this way, I will say love is limited. But from that limited pool of love, it's either you get it or the baby gets it, and I don't think it has to be that way. I could understand the mindset and I can understand the approach, but the baby being fed, watered, etc., and looked after and nurtured doesn't have to take away from you still getting partner intimacy. I think it's just a case of, okay, what is up with the capacity here? I'm going to have to make allowances. I'm going to have to chill and expect less whilst there's less to give and the baby needs lots. Or I can help my partner expand that capacity. I can make them want to be affectionate. And I'm kind of already going back on what I'm saying now, is because you can't make people want stuff. You can try, you can make it easy, you can facilitate it, but you can't make that happen. But kind of going back to the bulk of the post, which is, did they say I feel like an arsehole, or am I the arsehole?
Yeah. I like the opening sentence. It was like, I feel like an arsehole.
I feel like an arsehole. Don't feel like an arsehole, because kids do ruin relationships. Not all of them, but it happens. Kids do ruin relationships. And sometimes relationships ruin the children too. Like staying together just for the kid's sake. It's never for the kid's sake, because the healthiest version of you is the best version of you for the kid. And if that means a separation, separate. You need to, looking after yourself is an extension of you looking after other people. And I know people don't get it. Sometimes it doesn't work out one for one. Cool, I understand. But if your environment is toxic now because of the relationship you currently have, here's what's up. You don't even have to break up. You could opt to live separately for a bit so that you've got that capacity again. You can co-parent.
But what if it's not a toxic relationship, but you're just...
But the relationship can become toxic.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like you're saying, if it's a toxic relationship, it's not good for the kid anyway. I'm saying, what if it's not a toxic relationship? It's just there's literally zero there in terms of intimacy. And
what do you think? What do you think the kid's going to learn about love?
Yeah, I get that. I know what you're saying, but you're saying don't stay together for the kid's sake. But then if there's not toxicity there,
that would be toxicity.
Fair.
You know what I mean? You're not pouring in. If we think about, like, let me use this analogy as like oxygen. So toxicity is no oxygen, and healthy relationship is oxygen. When you're drawing in oxygen, which is like healthy love, okay, we're giving to each other. Let's say we're talking about the relationship you're talking about, which is like devoid, it's passive, there's nothing. I'm holding my breath. I'm going to pass out, I'm going to die. Yeah. Or completely like abusive toxic, which I wasn't saying that explicitly, but I know that's what people kind of default to thinking is, oh, abuse, manipulation, this, that, the other. That would be like I'm withdrawing oxygen from you. Like I'm not just stopping you breathing. I'm taking the oxygen out of your lungs. Holding your breath and taking oxygen out of your lungs is not going to help you. The only way you can really have a healthy operation is if you're breathing. If there's oxygen coming in and out, I'm giving, I'm taking, I'm giving, I'm taking. In a relationship like that, your kid is going to have potentially a warped idea of what love, intimacy, and relationships are. They might think of relationships as being very passive. They might not think of affection as being necessary, and therefore they might not be okay with being affectionate for their partner's sake. Which, unfortunately, as much as we love kisses and cuddles, we do that for 12 years. Sometimes you don't want to fucking kiss and cuddle. You want to nap on the sofa away from everybody. And that might be your version of intimacy to you. That's what you need. When you have kids, that's probably exacerbated because they're like, oh, I've got to look after my kid and I've got to be a partner. I just want to be dead on the sofa. I just want to be conked out doing nothing. So for him, I would say, don't feel like an arsehole. It's very natural to have challenges, especially this bad. It doesn't necessarily mean the relationship is ruined. If you've got a good communicative foundation, talk about it. Be honest. If you need professional help, and this is for everyone, by the way. If you need professional help, if you're considering professional help, explore it. If it doesn't work the first time, and it's not to say you have to keep going and keep trying, but you wouldn't go to a gym and be like, oh, I didn't lose weight, the gym's broken. You'd go, didn't lose weight, I must be doing something wrong, or there's something I could change. It's the same with therapy. Therapy works. It's not that it doesn't work. You might have got the wrong therapist, the wrong modality. Cool. You might have not approached. And a lot of you bastards are not even talking about the right stuff, and you know it. You go to therapy and you talk about other shit. Nah, this is wrong. Why are you talking to me about your plates for when we need to talk to you about your parents, cuz? You understand? What? That's what you want to say?
I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, these people, not you, but just saying, the people I'm talking about, go to therapy and be upfront, be sincere, be honest, be courageous enough to do that. And all of this takes courage. So I know it's hard. The thing is, you'll stay in that relationship. If that relationship breaks down, you're going to resent your child, and your child is going to have an uncomfortable relationship with you. And you don't want that. You didn't have kids to resent them. So do what you can to save all of your relationships. If it means walking away, doesn't mean you're not a good father. Like, not being there versus not being anywhere is very different. Co-parenting can be successful. Relationships with your kids can still be positive. You don't have to be in the house. Obviously, ideally, that's what you want. But also, ideally, you want to be having sex with your partner all the time, whilst having the perfect amount of balance of love and time with your family and all the money. Not realistic. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to forego sex for a bit so that your partner can be an effective parent for the capacity they have. And I say a bit, it could be years. These things happen. Don't feel like an arsehole. Kids can ruin relationships, but it doesn't have to be that way forever if you act now.
You did actually say that his fights and arguments have increased.
Yeah, which, I mean,
would you
they were already present.
So would you say that the first point of call would be to try and work on a relationship and maybe do
I think that'd be helpful.
Therapy, or just as a couple? Or would you say...
Here's my assumption. If they could have done it alone, they would have. If they could have fixed it amongst themselves, they would have.
I also just think, like, sometimes where if you've got the support system, obviously not everyone has a support system, but if you've got like the support system around you to offload the kids for a couple of hours and just work on not mum and dad, but like Julie and fucking Robert, do you know what I mean? Instead of being just mum and dad and having a rule of like, let's not talk anything kid the whole time we're out, and just work on us instead of no talk of any children.
What having those boundaries where it's like a child-free zone.
Yeah,
I think that could be helpful. I think one of my things is, and it's not a perfect solution or a perfect approach, is if you're doing stuff in absence of the friction, you're not necessarily learning how to deal with the friction.
I think it's also just to have that time of connection. Because,
yeah.
Like, from all accounts, but it just sounds like they seem like two lost like people at the moment.
Well, again, context is very limited. They might have very different parenting styles.
That is also,
and it's like that could be where the arguments are more. They didn't say they didn't argue before. They said the arguments are more. So how come they can? And this is a stupid question, but it's something to explore. Is how come now the volume of arguments is now a point of contention? How come there was a level of okay? Like, what was okay? 10 arguments a week versus 15? Where's the break-off point? Oh, if I had 12 arguments a week, I'd be okay. But maybe it's not the amount of arguments. Maybe it's the intensity of arguments. Maybe it's the content of the arguments. Obviously, kids have been brought up, so they're part of the argument. Whether it's the kids old enough now to be splitting parents, like mum said, dad said, or even if it's that the kid's a dick and they're both arguing, one's for the kid and one's against the kid. Or it could just be, you parent like this and I parent like this. There's like a level of incompatibility that's become apparent, which is why they're like, maybe we need to separate. But yeah, independent time, it would be good. You can't avoid talking about the kids. Not to say that, you have an independent time to talk about the kids. I'm saying don't try and hide the issue. If you argue about kids, clearly both of you got to say some stuff about the kids. Finding a place where you can say it safely, where it's less charged, so couples counselling, mediation is definitely recommended. And again, in those contexts, please be honest. Say to your partner out loud, I feel like the kids have fucked us up. And I can't, because the thing is, as a counsellor, as someone who goes to the man cave, I hear it all of the time. All of the time. It's so funny when I was like my vasectomy conversation, they'd be like, why don't you have kids? Kids are wonderful. And then the next conversation is like, oh, my son's a fucking idiot. I wish I didn't have him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just told me that I need to have kids. Sorry, Mike, man. You told me that I needed to have kids, and then you're telling me that you don't want kids. And I know obviously it's just an expression. It's like how you feel in the moment. I don't think many people sincerely regret having children. I think having children is stress. And in the moment, you do want to...
I know a lot of people that regret having children with certain people.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's because of things like this. It's because actually there was an incompatibility and trying to make a situation work, which maybe, not that you should have given up on, because that's not the correct term. I think, weirdly, sometimes the solution is separation. I think a lot of people think of separation as a failure. If you separated, you fucked it. No, sometimes a separation is an evolution of a relationship. Sometimes you can break up and become better individuals and subsequently better parents and also better friends. I know lots of co-parents who their life has never been so good since they stopped sleeping with each other and fucking living with each other. They were like, okay, actually. And then they've got their own respective partners and their family is very well blended. But no, if the relationship ends, it's a failure. Staying together failed, but the relationship itself did not fail.
Fair.
You know what I mean? So yeah, explore mediation. Failing that, please just start accepting that things might be better off if you did things independently. But by all means, if you want to fight for the relationship, do that, because you'll regret not trying. If you're not giving it all, then you will be like, what if? And there's no room for that shit.
Sure. That's good. Good answer.
I did all right.
Yeah, you've done well. I'm proud of you.
Punch up your kids. No, I'm just kidding.
For fuck's sake. I'm not proud of you for that comment. Obviously.
Why not, man? You should be proud of me unconditionally.
No, I am.
If you were a good dad, that's what you'd be.
Okay, so.
Thank you, Dad.
All right, well, that was Scenarios with AJ and Lloyd. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Awesome, bro. My hands are clean, right?
Yeah.
Daddy, are you finished recording now?
Yep, that's a wrap.
Okay, tell them to like and subscribe.
Haha, you heard us. See you next time on Relatable Dads Unscripted.